So Spider-Man No Way Home is releasing really damn soon. I'm going to have a spoiler-free review, a review full of spoilers, a Spider-Man movie ranking, tons of stuff relating to Spider-Man No Way Home after the movie comes out. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet. This is a video prior to the movie releasing for everyone. It has released for the early press people, and people are already giving out their spoiler-free reviews. I haven't looked at many spoiler-free reviews because I don't really want to tamper my expectations in any way, but I have seen a couple, and it seems like there's a lot of praise being given to this movie already, which is kind of what I expected. But I just wanted to do a video real quick just talking about my thoughts going into the movie, what I'm worried for, what I'm hopeful for, and just kind of get it all out there because this is by far my most anticipated movie probably of my entire life, to be completely honest. Like, I can't think of a single movie that's released in the past 21 years of me living that I've been this excited for. You know what I mean? Like, I would say Star Wars, The Force Awakens, I was pretty damn excited for. Even The Last Jedi, I don't think that really carried over well into The Rise of Skywalker, but for the most part, I was very excited for those. Definitely Avengers Endgame was very excited for, but I definitely don't think there's been a movie that I've been this excited for. Not just as a fan of Spider-Man, but also a fan of Marvel in general, and even just a fan of movies, but mainly because I'm a big fan of Spider-Man, so that's kind of the big reason there. And what's really pushing my excitement, I think, is the obvious, the return of a lot of original characters, which kind of goes into my first thing that I'm a bit worried about. As much as I'm very excited for all this fan service, very excited, I can't wait to see all these villains return, and most likely Tobey and Andrew as their versions of Spider-Man. I know not everyone is 100% on that yet, and we don't know. We don't know until we see it, but me personally, I'm pretty sure they're probably in it. Like, the chances of not in it to me is like 0.0001% at this point, so I'm expecting to see them, basically what I'm saying. Although I'm very excited for all of that, I don't want them to put fan service over the story, because we've seen that happen before. We've seen that happen with The Rise of Skywalker. You know, we were all really hyped for Palpatine to return. We heard him in the trailer. We're like, oh my god, Palpatine's coming back. And then we see it happening in the movie, and we're like, we don't really like how it's done. We don't really like how the character was handled. I didn't hate how he was handled, but we didn't love it. I'm worried that they're just going to throw all this fan service at us and not make the story surrounding the fan service, you know, all that great. I expect it to be, at least for some of these characters. I've heard a lot of good things, of course, already about Green Goblin and Doc Ock in this movie, but I hope that goes for everyone. I hope that goes for all the returning characters, including Tobey and Andrew, and, you know, even Electro, Lizard, Sandman. Like, I want all these characters to feel like they're characters from the original, but almost like there was a sort of development of them since then, in a good way. You know, I think a lot of people were worried about how they're going to handle some of those characters' redemption arcs, because Doc Ock had a redemption arc. Why is he back being a villain again? I hope they handle that part well. I hope they handle the part with even Sandman well, because Sandman had a redemption arc. Why is he here? Why is he fighting? I want to kind of learn more about that. Goblin and Electro, I completely understand why they're still viciously trying to kill Spider-Man, so that's not bothersome to me at all. That makes sense. And even Lizard, you know, he was kind of like uncontrollable when he was in his lizard mode, so I can understand why he'd be maybe trying to attack the Spider-Man. And some people say, oh, it's because it's Sandman before the redemption, which I guess that would make sense. But I just hope that they don't leave it with him not being redeemed again, or something of the sort. Like, don't forget about that character development that those characters had, is what I'm trying to say. And I just don't want them to go really hard with the fan service either. I don't want to be hearing a million original quotes. Like, yes, it would be funny to hear something like Pizza Time show up again, but like, I don't want a million original quotes to just come back, especially if it's not in organic situations. If it's an inorganic situation, do it, fine, I don't care, but don't force it, is what I'm trying to say. I'm fully expecting the "with great power comes great responsibility" line in this movie, but if it's not forced, then I'll be happy about it. It just depends on the situation, it depends on the context of how it's done. And that's kind of another thing. Comedy is a big thing that I'm also a little bit worried about. Now, this is another thing that I'm not that worried about anymore because people have said that this movie is pretty dark. So that's good. But I don't want comedy to throw off some of those dark moments, because the only reason I'm worried about that, and why I was worried about that, is because Homecoming and Far From Home, I feel like, did that a lot. And even the past 2 Venom movies did that a lot. And I get it. Spider-Man is a comedic character. It makes sense to have Spider-Man say funny things. That's fine. But what bothers me, especially with Homecoming and Far From Home, is that every single character is somehow a comedic genius in these movies. It's like everyone's just saying something that's supposed to be funny. Half the time it's not that funny. Sometimes it's pretty funny, but sometimes it's not. They're saying something funny every other minute. I'm like, chill with that. I'm hoping this movie kind of steps back from that and lets these characters feel more like real people, like they kind of did in the Raimi films and even the Amazing Spider-Man films. I want that. That is what I really want from this movie, and I think they can achieve it. The trailers mostly have shown that. They have like 1 or 2 jokes in them, but I'm completely fine with some jokes here and there. Nothing wrong with that. As long as it's fitting and it's organic, then it's good. Then it's fine. Then I'm happy about it. And the last thing I'm semi-worried about, but not really that worried about, some of the CGI and some of the promo images and even clips seemed a little iffy. Like there was one shot of Electro in one of the trailers that looked awful, but that is trailers. I'm pretty sure, that's not 100% finished CGI in a lot of those trailers, so I'm just going to wait to see it on the big screen. I'm sure it won't be an issue there, but I just hope it's good CGI that's not like kind of off-putting, especially because we're in 2021. You expect the best possible CGI, especially for Spider-Man. I mean, this is a massive budget film, so I expect the best possible quality ever, and I hope we can get that. And that kind of does it for all the things I'm worried about, honestly. Like, that's the only things that I really hope this film nails. I want it to be a fun movie, but also I just want it to be a great movie. Like, I know for a fact, I can already tell, just based on the trailers, based on what I've heard from these early reviews, based on, I actually did hear a small snippet of the soundtrack, a small snippet. I didn't want to, but it came up on my Twitter, and I heard one, like, maybe 40 seconds of a soundtrack, and that's all I heard. In those 40 seconds, it made me cry. So, and it's just music. So that alone makes me know I'm gonna love this movie. I'm gonna have a great time with it. It's gonna be a fun time. The fan service is gonna get to me, and I'm probably gonna have a really emotional and amazing experience in that theater on Thursday night. But I still want it to be a great movie nonetheless. I still want to walk out of there saying, this is one of the best superhero movies ever. I want to say it's the best Spider-Man. I want to say it's one of the best Marvel movies. I want to be able to say that. It doesn't have to be. It can still be, only like top 20, top 30 and still be a great movie, but I want it to be as good as it possibly can. Not just a fun movie that I'm like, this is a great time. I wanted to get there. And I think Endgame was that. Endgame was a great theater experience that I also think was a fantastic movie. A lot of people disagree with that. They say it's a great theater experience, but it was a bad movie. Or maybe they say it was a great theater experience, but just a meh movie. I hear that a lot. I always thought it was, great for both. And I just hope this movie can do that as well. I think it will. I also hope it sets up the future nicely as well. I don't know any spoilers, and I don't want to know any spoilers, so obviously don't share any. If you know any, I'm not going to probably look at the comments on this video just to be safe. So if you guys want to be safe with spoilers, you probably shouldn't even look at the comments either, just to be safe, because I'm sure people are going to share them to be assholes. I'm personally just not going to look. I'll be looking after I see the movie on Thursday, but I hope it sets up things nicely for the future of the MCU and for the future of the Sony films. I'm assuming they're going to set up Venom, like a Venom movie after this as well, because obviously Venom 2 set up the Spider-Man Venom confrontation. So I'm sure that this movie's going to set up that as well. I don't really expect to see Venom in the movie until maybe the after credits, just because there's already so much in the movie itself. It would just be weird to throw in Venom in there as well. He doesn't fit. People are saying he's going to be the 6th member of the Sinister Six. I don't even think this is supposed to be the Sinister Six. I think this is just 5 villains that they just have in here. I think they're going to do a real Sinister Six later. Venom wouldn't be part of the Sinister Six. I don't think he was ever a part of the Sinister Six in the comics, and I just wouldn't make sense for him to be part of it because he's not that type of villain. So I just don't see him as part of the Sinister Six. What I think they're going to do is have Tom Holland's villains, or at least some of the Sony Tom Holland villains. What am I trying to say? Some of the villains from the Tom Holland universe be a part of the Sinister Six, like Vulture, Scorpion, Mysterio. Mysterio, I doubt, is dead, so that's why I think he'll probably be a part of that. And they'll throw in some other ones. Maybe they'll bring in the Sony villains like Kraven and Morbius. I have no idea. They can bring back Shocker as well. They could do something with that as a Sinister Six, but I don't expect to see Venom in this movie until maybe the very end, of course. And yeah, I hope they have a banger soundtrack. Michael Giacchino is fantastic. I think all his music for the past Spidey films has been fantastic. He's also doing the Batman soundtrack as well, which sounds amazing from what we heard so far, so that's awesome. I mean, comic book fans are just eating right now. They're just eating. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to be doing, like I said, a spoiler-free review Thursday night, and then probably the same night also a spoiler review. So probably just 2 videos that one night. I'm going to do a ranking probably on Friday or Saturday of all the Spider-Man films, including Venom, and just going through and ranking them, which is very hard, by the way. I'm trying to do it right now. I physically cannot figure what I want to do with this ranking, because it's just like every movie is so close in quality to me. I love all the Spider-Man movies. It's so hard to compare them like that, but I'm trying. And then I'm going to do a live stream tier ranking every single comic book superhero movie I've ever seen, which right now I have a total of 94 movies on that list. We're going to rank all of those on a tier ranker on a stream, probably on Tuesday. I'm thinking Tuesday, December 21st or the 22nd, right after, one of those 2 days. Not sure exactly when. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on the community tab on my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. I will see you all on my next one. Peace out.